Top 10 Korean Horror Movies. Before we start, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and click the notification bell for more updates. Number 10. Train to Busan. Train to Busan is a 2016 South Korean action horror film directed by Sang-hwa and starring Gong Yoo, Yoon Yoo-mi, Ma Dong-seok, Kim Soo-an, Choi Woo-shik, An So-hee and Kim Yoo-sang. The film mostly takes place on a high-speed train from Seoul to Busan as a zombie apocalypse suddenly breaks out in the country and threatens the safety of the passengers. A chemical leak at a biotech plant causes the start of a zombie apocalypse that rapidly spreads across South Korea. As the train departs, signs of chaos from the infection reach the station, and an infected woman runs aboard, unnoticed, just before the doors close. She soon turns into a zombie, attacks an attendant, and many crew and passengers are quickly turned into zombies. The remaining passengers secure themselves in the front and rear cars, observing that the infected zombies only attack if they can see them or hear them, but they cannot operate the train's doors. They learn from news reports of the rapidly spreading epidemic across the country, and Seok-woo discovers the biotech plant was connected to his business. He uses his connections to try to secure safe. Seong-kyung and Soo-an are forced to stop at a blocked tunnel just before Busan and walk. At the tunnel's exit, military snipers prepare to fire until they hear Soo-an sob singing Aloha Oh. They then realize that the pair are human and help them to safety. Number 9. Peninsula Train to Busan Presents. Peninsula. Peninsula Train to Busan Presents. Peninsula is a 2020 South Korean action horror film directed by Sang-hwa. A zombie outbreak occurs in South Korea, where the government is overwhelmed in a day. Korean Marine Captain Jung-seok drives his family members to a ship. On the way, he encounters a couple with a young daughter, but he ignores their pleas for help as the man is bleeding. Jung-seok's family board a ship where an infected man turns into a zombie and infects several people in a cabin, including Jung-seok's nephew Dong-hwan. Jung-seok's sister refuses to leave Dong-hwan, so Jung-seok closes off the cabin while zombies bite her. Jung-seok stops his brother-in-law Chul-min from entering as armed soldiers arrive. Other nations contain the outbreak by quarantining South Korea. 4 years later, in Hong Kong, a guilt-ridden Jung-seok and Chul-min are recruited by Chinese mobsters for a mission with 2 other Koreans to return to South Korea and retrieve a truck containing $20 million. If successful, they will supposedly receive half of the money. The team arrives at the peninsula at night by boat and finds the truck. The team fends off and kills the zombie truck driver, making noises that attract more zombies. Jung-seok shoots several. Jung-seok remembers Chul-min saying that Jung-seok did not do his best to save their family and is spurred to help Min-jung. Min-jung decides to live, and she escapes the zombies with Jung-seok's assistance. The family, Jung-seok, and the UN troops leave the peninsula in the helicopter. Number 8. #Alive. #Alive is a 2020 South Korean zombie film directed by Cho Il-hyung, starring Yoo Ah-in and Park Shin-hye. It is based on the 2019 script Alone by Matt Naylor, who Seo adapted his script with Jo. The film revolves around a video game live streamer's struggle for survival. They are about to be overwhelmed. An army helicopter shoots at the horde before military has begun rescuing survivors who made social media posts. Number 7. The Mimic. The Mimic is a 2017 South Korean horror film written and directed by Hae-yoon and starring Young-ah and Park Hyuk-kwon, Hee-yeon, Min-ho, and their little daughter Jun-hee moved to Jang with Jun-hee's grandmother, who is senile, hoping it will improve her condition, and so Hee-yeon and Min-ho can heal after. The grandmother hears her dead sister's voice calling her from the woods. Two children come in search of their dog, the one killed in the car accident from the beginning. The kids hear their dog barking and follow the sound to the brick wall. The girl is pulled through the hole in the wall by an unseen force but escapes. The kids run to Hee-yeon and Min-ho for help. Hee-yeon encounters a little girl in the woods but is drawn away by the kids and her husband, who enters the hole and finds a bolted door. The mother of a missing child takes in a lost girl she finds in the woods, but soon begins to wonder if she is even human. The Jang-seok tiger, who mimics human voices to lure them close, encounters a family affected by the creature. Number 6. Whispering Corridors. Whispering Corridors is a 1998 South Korean supernatural horror film directed and Seo written by Park Hee-hyung. In an all-female high school in South Korea, the Jukran High School for Girls, a homeroom teacher, Mrs. Park, nicknamed Old Fox due to her sadistic method of teaching, circles several points in the students' yearbooks and calls her new fellow teacher, Hur Eun-young, telling her that Jun Ji-yoo is definitely dead, but still attending school. Moments later, she is strangled with a noose by an unknown figure, her body discovered by 3 new senior students. The talented, superstitious artist Lim Ji-oh, the timid outsider Yoon Ji-ye. Their new replacement teacher is the cruel, abusive Mr. Oh, nicknamed Mad Dog, who likes to give corporal punishments to his students, as well as harass the class top student, Park So-young. The discovery of Mrs. Park's body deeply impacts Ji-oh, so she creates a painting of the body, which earns her a horrible punishment by Mr. Oh. Yoon-young suspects that Ji-oh may be a ghost, since she carries bells that Jin Ji-yoo, her best friend from high school, had given her. But Ji-oh tells her that they were given to her by Ji-ye. Yoon-young and Ji-oh are still in the classroom the next day when they are observed by a student. The girl leaves upon seeing the two, but as she turns around, it is revealed that she is Jung-seok's. Number 5. The Red Shoes. Ever since leaving her husband, Sunjae Kim Sung-soo has lived with her daughter Seo Ha-room in a creepy old apartment, and it's about to get a lot more spooky. One night on the subway, she discovers a pair of lovely red shoes, but when she brings them home, she carries a horrific curse into her life. As nightmarish visions dominate her mind, and those around her suffer grisly deaths, Sunjae must discover the secret of the shoe's destructive power if she wants to survive. The last scene reveals Tae-soo practicing her ballet in her mother's bedroom. In a post-credits scene, A grown-up Tae-soo picks up the pink shoes in the park. Number 4. Death Bell. Trapped by a maniac, teenage students named Ri Kim Bum must solve a series of puzzles or suffer horrible fates. Death Bell Korean, Gosa. Pujunggang Gosa is a 2008 Korean horror film. Death Bell stars Lee Byung-soo in his first horror film role, and K-pop singer named Ri in her acting debut. Set in a Korean high school, the film's native title refers to Gosa, the important midterm exams that all students are required to sit. A group of 20 high school students partakes in an elite class to prepare for a college exam. Among them are the rebellious Kang-hee, her best friend Yoo Myung-hye, and the class clown Kang-hee. Despite the warning, the class tries to leave, only to find that a teacher and hall monitor, Mr. Lee, was beaten to death, leaving only security Mr. Kim to guard them. A memorial is held for the students killed. Then Aina is kidnapped unnoticed. One final question is posed: have the person who killed his daughter step forward and confess? Flashbacks reveal that Kim's daughter, Kim Ji-won, worked hard to enter the elite class. However, the parents of the killed students bribed Hyun-wook for the entrance test answers. The film closes with Aina seeing that she tops the class ranking, and it is implied that Byung's attacks were due to her being possessed by Ji-won since the beginning. Number 3. Metamorphosis. A face-changing evil spirit infiltrates a family, placing one brother in danger while the other tries to save him. Gang Gu-sung Dong-il and Min-jae Oh Joon-woo are married, and they have 3 children. Son Woo Kim Hae-jun, Hyun-jae Chu Yoo-ah-in, and Woo-young Kim Kang-hoon. They move into a new home, but bizarre and terrifying things happen to the family. The devil transforms into one of the family members. Oldest child Sang-woo calls her uncle Jong-soo Lee Sang-woo for help. Jong-soo is a Catholic priest who performs exorcisms. Metamorphosis. Noun, a change of the form or nature of a thing or person into a completely different one, by natural or supernatural means. Number 2. Rampant. Rampant is a 2018 South Korean period action zombie film directed by Kim Sung-hoon. It was released on October 25, 2018. The film features a clash between exiled Prince Lee Chung and the Joseon Minister of War Kim Je-jun with the backdrop of a spreading zombie plague. In the Joseon dynasty, King Lee Ji-oh is viewed as overly deferential to the nearby Qing dynasty of China. His son, Crown Prince Lee Yang, plots to buy European arquebuses to drive away the Qing. The plot is exposed by War Minister Kim Je-jun, who holds influence over the king and frames it as a rebellion. Kim meets the Europeans and learns that they have brought zombies called night demons. Together, they duel with each other, Lee Chung being the victor. Reinforcements of soldiers and commoners later arrive to exterminate the rest of the zombies. Lee Chung recognizes that through the power of the people, the ruined Joseon still has hopes for existence, and elects to stay rather than go back to Qing China. Finally, number 1. The flu. Chaos ensues after a lethal airborne virus infects the population of a South Korean city less than 20 kilometers from Seoul. Flu is a 2013 South Korean disaster film written and directed by Kim Sung-soo about an outbreak of a deadly strain of H5N1 that kills its victims within 36 hours, throwing the district of Bandang in Seongnam, which has a population of nearly 500,000 people, into chaos. It stars Jang Hyuk, Soo Ah-in and Ma Dong-seok. Brothers Jae-yoo Woo and Jae-yoo Ki are smugglers in Seoul, who find that illegal immigrants have died in a shipping container from an unknown illness. They take Seoul survivor Mon-jae and cell phone video of the bodies to show their boss in Budang, but Woo becomes sick and Mon-jae escapes. The brothers go to a clinic where the contagion is passed on to others who spread it throughout the city. In this 2013 thriller, the death toll mounts from an airborne disease in a South Korean suburb, resulting in a quarantine and a reign of chaos.